All right. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Venerable Sir.
Nice. So let's get into our recitation right away. So you can unmute everyone.
I can't. I'm unmuted.
So I'm waiting for Zui to unmute and Yamona as well. So waiting for Yamona.
And I'm still unmuted.
No, Tiri is fine. It's just that Tiri did not change her name. So you need to change your name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yamona.
I forgot.
Us, or is that a ghost? Yamona.
Oh.
I'm still waiting for Yamona. All right, Yamona, you need to unmute yourself and turn on your camera. Otherwise, we are not doing this.
I think she's away from her device.
That's possible. Okay. So she will have to rejoin. Whenever you join, you need to be available. All right? Cannot be away. Or you can, there's a trick to do that. You can tell another person who's present that you're going away from the device, for example, to the toilet, and therefore I will find out from the other person. All right? Otherwise, I'm removing the person. Okay, need to follow the rules. Fine. So let's get into the recitation. Everybody can keep your hands together at the chest. Yamahang vadami tang vadetha. Aham bhanti. Tisaranena saha. Today is Sri Lankan or Burmese pronunciation?
Sri Lankan.
Today is Sri Lankan. Okay. So let's start again. Yamahang vadami tang vadetha. Aham bhanti. Tisaranena saha. Panchasilang dhammang yajami. Anugraham katva. Silang detha me bhante. Anukampang upadaya. Dutiyampi aham bhante. Tisarane. I didn't hear you. Panchasilang dhammang yajami. Anugraham katva. Silang detha me bhante. Anukampang upadaya. Tatiyampi aham bhante. Tisaranena saha. Panchasilang dhammang yajami. Anugraham katva. Silang detha me bhante. Anukampang upadaya. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa
Saman sabotasa.
Arahato sama.
Samantasa bhagavato arahato saman sabotasa.
Namo tassa
Tassa bhagavato arahato saman sabotasa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami.
Buddham saranam
Saranam gacchami.
saranam
Saman
gacchami.
saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi
Yampi Buddhan Saranam Gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhamman Saranam Gacchami, Dutiyampi Sanghan Saranam Gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi
Tatyampi Buddhan Saranam Gacchami, Tatyampi Dhamman Saranam Gacchami, Tatyampi Sanghan Saranam Gacchami.
Saranaagamanang paripunnang
Ama.
Nama Bante.
Pana. Okay, so what's the first precept, Valentina?
Oh, to not tell lies.
No.
Oh wait, to not steal.
No.
No alcohol.
No.
No sexual misconduct.
No. Here, one more remaining. That you didn't say.
I forgot.
Nope, I'm reciting.
No, you're not reciting.
No, I'm about.
So
Okay.
you remember 4 out of the 5 precepts, and you don't remember the first one. That's really good. What is the number one thing that people should not do?
Oh, no killing.
That's right. Panati pata vera manisikha padang samadhiyami. Tiri, what are you doing? You're riding a Ferris wheel, or what's that? Sometimes you're like your hair is like flying here and there. Like, what's that?
No, I was in the car, and now I'm coming in the house.
And why did we see your hair flying here and there?
Because there was lots of turns.
It was what?
Oh, the alarm's on, sorry.
It was jumping?
I'm gonna get...
Did you jump with the car, or?
No.
Do you know that your hair was flying?
I know.
Yeah. So what happened at that time?
What did you say?
Yeah. So you know that your hair was flying, right?
Yeah,
so what
I
happened
know.
at that time?
I was in the car.
And what was happening with the car?
And
Usually when
my dad...
when I go by car, my hair is not flying. Okay. So what happened with your hair? Well, why was your hair flying?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, whatever. So,
I'm trying to find my
Tiri,
other
what is the
notes.
second precept?
No stealing.
Mm-hmm. Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Tenza, what is the third precept?
No drinking alcohol.
No.
No sexual misconduct.
Kame sumichhachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kami sumichachara veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Emily, what's the fourth precept?
No lying.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Savada veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
And Zoe, what's the fifth precept?
No drinking alcohol.
That's right. Surameraya majjapamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surameraya.
Ramiraya Majapamadatana Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Tisaranena saddhing panchasilang dhammang sadhukang surakhitang katva appamadena sampadetha. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you soon attain the eternal bliss of Nibbana.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So Tiri, where have you come?
I'm in my grandma's room. My dad's setting up the other device so I can
So you can
give my
continue
mom
there.
borrowing it.
Good. Nice. So let's move on to our stories.
Oh, book. Where did I? Oh, my book's downstairs. Probably something wrong with the touch screen. I know.
All right. So Andre, we don't have Andre today, right?
And May.
Excuse me? And May.
And yeah, May.
I have already disqualified May because she didn't come too many times. And she didn't do her homework 3 times consecutively. So May is actually disqualified. If you happen to be disqualified like that, you need to provide to me your homework from all of the homework that you have missed since the first time that you have missed your homework consecutively, and then I can requalify you.
Shimpiya, May dad said something on the Viper.
Whatever she has said, if she did not upload her homework, it doesn't count. Oh, who knows? Oh, I can see May's homework now. Alright, so May has finished her homework, so I can requalify her. But as you can see, it's quite confusing, and you will be now waiting for me to do the register. So I have to take her out of the disqualified people, and then I have to add her back to the qualified people. So it takes some time, and it steals the time of our class. So ideally, you always come to every class, and you always do your homework. Otherwise, it's a mess. So it seems that Andre actually didn't do his homework. That's the first time he didn't do it. And do we have Yamona? Okay, finally we got Yamona. Yamona, if you come to the class and I'm not here, and you need to go somewhere else, you need to tell someone here that you're going somewhere else, and where are you going, and that you're coming back. Otherwise, I actually remove you from the meeting. I removed you from the meeting. Okay, because you were not replying anything, you just had muted microphone and turned off camera, and you didn't say anything, and I was calling you and no reply from you. So if you're going somewhere for whatever reason, then it's very important that you tell someone else, and then you can go.
Creation pair.
Okay.
So Emily, you did not read your summary for story 79. Did you also finish your story for number 84?
Yes.
Yes, so you can read for us a summary for story 79.
Excuse me, what did you say?
Can you please read your summary of the story number 79?
Let me find it. Because I didn't know I would have to read.
So I'm listening, Emily.
Coming up.
Yes, Tiri. Tiri. Can you hear me?
My internet connection isn't good.
Okay.
I can't really hear.
You can
Emily.
hear me well? Emily, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, then that's fine. So, Thierry, we will resolve that maybe later. And let's continue with Emily's story summary for
I can.
79.
It's frozen.
Okay. Jataka 79, a good friend. Once the Buddha told a story of the past. There's a barber and a disciple of the Buddha. And then their boat sank. And because the disciple was there, the sea deva agreed to take both of them back home. The end.
I totally don't understand what you talked about. Can you speak slowly and clearly?
Once the Buddha told the story of the past. There was a barber and a disciple of the Buddha.
What
And
was
then
there?
there's
There was a power? What's
a
that?
barber and a
barber.
disciple.
And a snake?
Yeah.
A barber and a
No,
snake?
no, a disciple of the Buddha.
No snake there?
No.
No snake? Okay. So there was a barber and a disciple of the Buddha, and then?
Their boat sank because the disciple was there. The sea deva agreed to take both of them back home. The end.
So where did they sink? Why did they sink? Did you say that they sank?
Yes.
Where did they sink? Did they sink in oil or
In the middle
milk?
of the sea.
They sink in the middle of the sea. Aha, that's very interesting. And then, why? How did they get into the middle of the sea?
I'm not quite sure because I don't really remember it.
Wait, you didn't write down the summary? Should be 5 sentences, right? 3 to 5 sentences. You cannot find the summary?
This is the summary.
This is the summary. It's very short and it's not clear at all. So you didn't even say that they actually sink in this in the ocean. It needs to be there. Otherwise, how do we know? What if they sank in milk or in orange juice? I don't know. You need to say it. Like that's very different, right? Isn't it?
So do you want me to rewrite it with my homework
I
too?
think so. Because it's totally not clear what's going on. So there was a monk and a barber, and they sank in the middle of the sea. And then the monk asked a god for help, and the god helped them. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the lesson that you have learned from that? To call gods when you need something?
No.
No?
To believe in the Buddha because after that happened, the barber decided to also be the disciple of the Buddha.
I see. So how is this calling the god and being disciple of the Buddha connected? So the monk called the god, and did he say something about the Buddha, or did the god follow the Buddha, or what? What was the reason that the barber decided to follow the Buddha?
I don't quite remember.
You don't remember, so you need to find out and tell us next time. Okay.
Okay.
So let's continue to the next story, 82. That's from Tenza.
Jataka 82, if she is dear to you. Once there was a king who found out one of his porters were misbehaving. So he went to the Buddha for advice, and the Buddha told a story of the past. Once the Buddha was born as the king's advisor, and one of the king's wives were cheating on him with the minister, but he didn't want to lose them. So he asked his advisor, and the advisor told him what to do. So the king gave the minister The king gave the minister and wife a stern warning, and they stopped and kept their loyalty to the king.
Oh, that's good. Amazing. Nice. Thank you very much. Excellent summary. And then we're continuing to 82 again from Valentina.
Shataka 82, if she is dear. While staying at Jetavana, the Buddha told the story about King Pasenadi. When King Pasenadi learned that one of his courtiers were misbehaving in royal harem, he asked the Buddha for advice, and the Buddha told the story of the past. Long ago, when Brahmadatta was reigning in Varanasi, the Bodhisattva was his chief advisor, and he found out that one of his wives was having an affair with one of his ministers. But he hesitated to do anything because he didn't want to lose neither of them, so he asked his advisor what he should do because he's a very wise man. He told the advisor, a jackal dared to drink from a lake even though a lion was guarding its shores, and the advisor replied that out of the mighty river all creatures drink at will, and if she is dear, have patience, because the river is still a river. The king was very pleased by his answer, so he talked to both his wife and minister, and they became faithful to the king once more. For the rest of his life, the king gave alms and performed good deeds and was reborn in heaven. Having concluded the story, the king of Pasenadi forgave his courtier, and Buddha identified as the wise advisor.
Well, that's a transcript, not a summary. You know what's a transcript? Transcript is when you write it the same thing in other words. So that's transcript. So that what you wrote is definitely not a summary. So you may like to summarize, to make it clear and very concise in your words. Like Tenza's summary was amazing. That was exemplary. So everybody, please learn from that. What Tenza said is basically what you would say to your friend. That's what you would tell your friend if your friend asked you, what did you just read about? And that's what we want, We don't want like an exact account on that. But of course, you can write a little additional note if there is something special. All right. For example, this thing about the river and the jackal and the deer, that was definitely interesting. But that would be like an additional note. So the summary should just summarize the story so that we know, what's the story about in like 3-4 sentences. Previously, when I gave you some examples, when I wrote my examples, then those were very long. That's true. But I needed to include every single detail there. It's not exactly what I'm asking you for. Tenza's summary was exemplary. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm expecting from everyone here. Thank you very much. But I totally admit that making summaries is extremely difficult. All right, for me, for example, this is one of the most difficult things because I feel like, oh, every detail is important, isn't it? And so then, with that attitude, of course, summary is extremely difficult. Okay, so Emily, 84.
Jataka 84. Phobia.
How do you spell it?
Geophobia.
How do you spell it?
Gerophobia. Oh wait, I'm not sure.
I have never heard that kind of word.
Oh, there's an O. It's G-E-R.
And you have 84, right?
Yes.
Oh, gerophobia. I see. Okay, gerophobia. Let me see what that means. I don't know that.
Me
Gerophobia. Even the dictionary doesn't have that word. So let us search what does Google say about that. So it's an irrational fear of dirt. Gerophobia is a fear of dirt. When you see something dirty and you think, "Oh, this is dirty. This will kill me." So that kind of fear is called gerophobia. Okay. So tell us, what's your summary?
Once a cruel king used old people as entertainment. Oh wait, I skipped a lot. Once the Buddha told a story of the past. Once a cruel king used old people as entertainment.
What
Solve that.
What king? Once a
Cruel king.
what's that? Throw king? What's that?
Roll.
Like a troll. Troll? Troll?
No, cruel.
Crow. Crow.
No, Cruel.
Aha, cruel. Okay. So once a cruel king came, and then?
Once a cruel king used old people as entertainment. To solve that, a man named Saka dressed as an old man that only the king could see. When the king had rancid milk on his head, he was laughed at and learnt his lesson. The end.
What happened with the milk? So the king had rancid milk
On his head.
on which head? On Sakka's head?
Sorry, what?
Whose head was that?
The king's head.
Oh, the king's head. How did the milk get on the king's head?
Saka dressed as an old man. He pretended to sell rancid milk.
Yeah. And then?
And he poured it on the king's head.
I see. And then what did the king do?
He was laughed at by everyone, and he
wow.
learned his lesson.
And that was the lesson for the king. Amazing. And then Sakka disappeared, right? Because actually Sakka was not a man, but he's a god. So be careful. Sakka is a god, not a man. That's why he was not punished and killed for that, how do you call it? Yeah, for that heinous crime. Imagine you would pour milk on a king. Doesn't work. Okay, but a god can do that. Because after God does that, he disappears and there's no problem. So then that's good. And let's continue. So this was story 84 from Emily. Let's continue to story 85 by Tiri. All right, are we connected? So, Tiri, let's get into it. Tiri, I don't hear you. I don't hear you at all. Tiri, can you tell me something? Tiri, can you tell me something? Hello?
What did you say?
Can you say hello?
Oh.
Good. Please come closer to your microphone. I'm in a very uncomfortable conditions, so I need your help. So please come as close as you can to your microphone and speak loudly. And try to pronounce very carefully as if you are talking to someone who doesn't know English but just started to learn. All right?
There. Oh, it's not. Before I couldn't hear you and you were frozen.
Yes.
Now
You
I
also
can
were
hear you
frozen a
better.
little. So please read your summary. Remember to tell us the name of the story and read loudly and clearly. Okay?
Okay. The woodpecker, antelope. First, the antelope was caught. The next day, the hunter woke, and the woodpecker turtle. The antelope say antelope.
Seems like I'm having internet problem. Do you have the name and password for this Wi-Fi? I think now is the best time to get.
Okay. You go to settings, you'll see it will say Milpita's house.
Yep.
And then the password is 4140 welcome.
They believe it's not correct. So let me see. Yeah, maybe I was using wrong keyboard. Are you sure it's 4140 welcome?
So, WELCOME.
Hmm. Is the welcome all with little letters?
Yeah. Go back to mine.
Now it says it can't connect to the network.
This is Milpita's house, right?
Yep.
Okay, let me look again to make sure we get the wrong.
No, it totally doesn't work.
So, 4140 welcome. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm not successful. And I think the internet in the device that you purchased, 2 months ago, is now depleted. I asked Ma Kenya that it would be great to have 50 more GB because I'm here longer than expected, but it seems she didn't have time to look at that.
This is supposed to be a good system. They just put it in.
You can imagine that this is an added problem that comes when I'm moving from place to place.
Yeah.
Resolving problems wherever I'm coming. We resolve it within 2 days and then we go somewhere else to resolve some other totally unnecessary problems.
I got straight on mine. I don't know. And both this and my phone.
Yeah, I know. The laptop is doing this quite commonly. No way.
Does it matter how many devices I can log off? See if it makes a difference.
Okay.
Got that one.
It says the network security key isn't correct. Please try again.
Security key.
Yeah, that's this one. That's the password you told me. No problem. I'll try to use the device from you.
Oh, well, that's oh.
Hello, venerable sir.
Hello, Venerable Sir.
Nice. Hello, everyone. So, Tiri, hopefully it's better now. I'm listening.
Oh, I thought you already heard it. Well, here
Try
I
it
go
again.
again. Okay, for the third time. One time, a woodpecker, antelope, and turtle were friends. First, the antelope was caught. The next day, the hunter woke, and the woodpecker got the turtle time to chew on the rope by outsmarting the hunter. When the hunter got the turtle, the antelope saved him. The antelope's idea meant they'd temporarily leave, and eventually they reunited. Okay, I'm finished.
Alright, so now my internet connection is fine, but Tiri's is not. So, Tiri, can you now tell us a summary in your own words? What was that about?
It's about three animals, and then one animal was caught. Oh, and they're all friends. One animal was caught, and then the other animal. So the animal was caught, and the next day, the hunter who caught it, woke up and got his axe. And then as soon as he left his front door, one of the other animals hurt him. And then he tried again, and it happened again. He tried going out the back door, and it still happened because the other animal thought he'd do that. And then He thought he'd given enough time for the other animal to chew the rope to free the animal who was caught. And then so he said, "The hunter is coming." And then they all hid, and then the turtle, after he hid, he was too exhausted to move, so the hunter caught him, and then they saved the turtle. And then one of the animals had an idea for them to leave, and they'd all have to separate so they wouldn't see each other, but that wasn't forever. They reunited after. It was safe.
So the two animals had to separate so that the hunter cannot see the animal who's rescuing the first one?
No, they had to separate after they rescued the other one, and then they'd have to separate so that it doesn't happen again, not to hide from it. Wait, isn't that hiding from it though?
Okay, it doesn't seem very clear, but we'll have to continue. This was story 85. So let's continue to 86 from Yamona.
Taka 86, the dung beetle queen. Who was attached to his wife. The Buddha told the story of the past. A king loved his queen very much, but when she died, the king didn't eat and mourned for his wife. And as told the king that the queen didn't do good deeds and had been reborn as a dung beetle in the garden. And the ascetic made her talk to the king. With the power of the ascetic, the beetle was able to talk in English. The female beetle said she used to love her former husband, the king, dearly. But now she would gladly kill the king for her husband, male dung beetle, as soon as the king gave up grieving.
Yes, perfect. This is a famous story, so everybody of you may like to read that story. That's 86, number 86. Let me make here a note for Tiri that I didn't understand the story. All right, and let's continue. Let's finish this up with Zue, story number 87.
Jataka 87, give or take an ox. The Bodhisattva was born into a family of farmers and was named Somadatta. But when he returned home, he found out his family was poor, so he helped his poor family by going to Varanasi. His father comes to Varanasi as well and asks his son to request an ox from the king because his other ox died and needs to plow. But the son says that it's rude to request when he just left. So he tells the father to request for an ox. But the father says that he is not good with talking, so his son trains his father to make the request. When the father makes the request, they end up receiving 16 oxen instead of 1. After that, the son realizes his father made a deliberate mistake, despite in deliberate mistake in his father's statement, but his father said it was intentional.
In your own words, what actually happened? Can you say in your own words? How do you remember it? What was the main point there?
So the Bodhisattva was born to farmers, and then he went away, but then he came back, and then he found out his family was poor, so he went to Varanasi.
What happened with his family? It was born?
No, their family became poor.
Oh, they became monks and nuns. Came forth means become monks and nuns. Okay, so his family became monks and nuns, and then so he went to Varanasi.
No, his father went to he and his son, the father and the son went to Varanasi, and the son, uh, his father, wanted the son to request for an ox because his father ox died, but the son said he couldn't do that, so the son wants the father to make the request for an ox, but his father says that he's not good with talking, so he he trains his father to make the request, and then when the father makes the request, he instead of getting one ox, he gets 16 oxen. But then after that, his son realizes he made a mistake in his statement, but his father claimed that it was intentional.
So it was not. So his father accused his son of intentional of the intention to get 16 oxen.
No, he made a mistake. No, the father made a mistake in his statement, and then they got 16 oxen instead of one. Because the father said, "Take my ox," instead of, "Could you give me an ox?"
And then what happened? So did they return them or did they keep them?
I think they kept them.
They kept them. Okay. And that's the end of the story? All right. So what do you learn from the story? That making mistakes sometimes is a good thing?
Not always, but
Sometimes.
it can be sometimes.
Okay. So not every mistake is a problem. All right. That's good. So now we are supposed to meditate. But I'm definitely not in a meditation setting. So we will definitely go to meditate, but I will probably have to meditate from the setting where I am now. That's the way it is. So as you're sitting in a comfortable meditation posture, make sure your back is erect. I'm leaning, but I really don't see any better way how I can do this. But definitely avoid leaning up to the maximum that you can. We are already late 10 minutes, so we need to start right now. No more delaying. And make sure your back is erect, your side cast down. And we will meditate just 10 minutes today. We can make the first determination in our minds voicelessly from now on for 10 minutes. I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. From now on for 10 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. From now on for 10 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. And with that determination, we can gently, lovingly notice the flat piece of flesh at the top of the head. We allow it to be heavy. And changing. We continue in this manner to the forehead, eyes, nose, lips, chin, cheeks, ears, back of the head. We allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the head to be heavy and changing. We continue to the neck, shoulders,
Because it should come out here.
arms, elbows, forearms, wrists,
I think that's right, yeah. But I don't think we're supposed to go down there. I
palms,
think they just do laundry.
fingers,
If we are allowed to, I'll have to ask.
tips of fingers, chest, abdomen, back, we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the upper part of the body to be heavy and changing. We continue to the buttocks, thighs, knees, calves, heels, soles,
This one doesn't, there's one that's chipped
toes,
here, it should be supposed to be here today and it's not. But there's this one here.
tips of toes,
You guys just fan, but there's one in here.
Oh, I see.
we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the body to be heavy and changing.
This, because this side of the house, the sun coming in and on the windows.
And we enjoy this heaviness.
I'm just wondering if while he's working, if we can cool it down.
You want me to
a
put
little
the fan
bit.
out here?
Well, but it'll be too loud for him. So
Now
I'll
we
just open
accept
these windows
all
for
of
now.
the body parts
And
as
I had it open, but I
changing.
thought the aircon was coming, so I closed them. But we want to open them for sure, because there's.
And we give the freedom to the body to be the way it
I
is.
noticed.
And your air bugs.
Yeah.
And don't surprise to see a frog jumping around. They will jump right in the house.
Okay.
And you'll like all of a sudden, oh, there's a frog. They're like, they're all over the place. It's like that time of year or something.
Well, there's a crack here. It's not 100% closed. I don't
I'll,
know.
here, how about
Can you
while you're
just-
standing there?
Yeah.
When we enjoy this freedom, we watch this peace.
Okay. We've been doing your walking meditation, huh?
Now let's share our peace with other living beings. May all beings in this room be in peace.
Just to understand the symbols on the.
May all beings in this building be in peace. May all beings in this city or village be in peace. May all beings in this country be in peace. May all beings on this continent be in peace. May all beings on this planet be in peace.
Doesn't have aircon, it only has a fan. And this one, what? It was supposed to arrive today, but it hasn't yet. So this one also has.
May all beings, including me, be in peace.
If someone wants to sleep on that, it would be possible. And
Now, because the time for this sitting is finished, let's make the last determination in our minds voicelessly. From now on, I will always be calm. From now on, I will always be calm. From now on, I will always be calm. And we can slowly, mindfully change the way of our sitting. Stay where you are. And we will take one more minute during which we will not move at all. And we will just watch the piece in our mind. Okay, very well. So, Diri, it seems you did not adjust your camera, so I could not actually see you well during meditation. Diri, you need to remember to always adjust your camera so that I can see your legs, hands, and face. Alright? So remember that for next time. It's very important for us. I know you had it difficult because you just moved in and you had not even a second to actually make any arrangements. But next time, see if you can, have a kind of stand. There are stands for iPads where you can actually tilt your iPad like this. You can also tilt it like this, so it's actually the camera is taking you down. Yes, Didi?
I have one in the bag where this was. I just didn't really have a lot of time to think. Because I was also using a device that's kind of hard to adjust without a stand. I didn't use a stand. Instead, I
No need to explain.
used,
We just want you
what
to
it's called.
show us the
This,
legs, hands, and
like,
face.
case.
Yeah, no need to explain. I just want to see your legs, hands, and face.
Okay.
Not interested in explanation, so much. All right, nice. So it was a pleasure to see everyone, and see you next week. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be successful in everything you do.
Bye, Venerable.
Goodbye, Venerable Spirit.
Nice. And I will continue with Sandi Yasa Almao. And that's all. That's all who we have. No one else? Okay, no problem. Well, we anyway have to finish after 30 minutes. All right. I'm having a little tight schedule. I'm definitely not as comfortable as otherwise, as maybe you have noticed, but I'm happy that we can have the class and at least we can make a little bit of move. So let's get into 5 precepts. So today let's recite that in Sri Lankan pronunciation. So please unmute everyone. Yamahan vadami tang vadetha. Aham bhante. Tisaranena saha. Panchasilang dhammang yajami. Anuggahang katva. Silang detha me bhante. Anukampang upadaya. Dutiyampi aham bhante. Tisaranena saha. Panchasilang dhammang yajami. Anuggaham katva
Anugaham Tapa,
Silang Detha Me Bhante
Sivam Devame Bhante,
Anukampang Upadaya
Anugampam Upadaya,
Tatiyampi Aham Bhante
Tatyahi Aham Bhante,
Tisaranena Saha
Tisarajina Saha,
Pancha Silang Dhammang Yachami
Panchasivam Dhamman Yachan,
Anuggaham katva
Anugaham Tapa,
Silang Detha Me Bhante
Sivam Devame Bhante,
Anukampang Upadaya
Anugampam Upadaya,
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa, Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa, Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami.
Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Ityampi Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Ityampi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Ityampi Sangham Saranam Gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatyampi Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Tatyampi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Tatyampi Sangham Saranam Gacchami.
Sarana-gamanang paripunnang.
Bhante.
So, Sandy, what is the first precept?
No killing.
Panatipata vera manisikha padang samadhiyami.
Panati Bhava Devamani Sikha.
Yasa, what is the second precept?
No stealing.
That's right. Adinnadana vera manisikha padang samadhiyami. Oma, what is the third precept?
No lying.
No.
Or sorry, no sexual misconduct.
Kame sumichachara vera manisikha padang samadhiyami. Sandy, what is the fourth precept?
No lying.
Musavada vera manisikha padang samadhiyami. And Yasa, what is the fifth precept?
No taking drugs or alcohol.
That's right. Sura meraya machapamada thana vera manisikha padang samadhiyami. Tisaranena saddhing pancha silang dhammang sadhukang surakhitang katva appamadena sampadetha. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you soon attain the eternal bliss of Nibbana. Nice, very well. So let's move on to your summaries right away because we don't have much time. And there's no way how we can make the meeting longer. So today we have only Sandhi, Yasa, and Amal. Any idea where are others? Do you have like holidays or something's happening? I'm not hearing anyone. Can you tell me, is there any holidays or something like that?
Not really.
No holidays really? Okay.
Other than summer break, we don't really have any holidays.
I see, you have
Holidays.
you still have the summer break, right? Okay, well that could be the reason. So Caitlin had 410. She's in there.
So, if there's a day, it should be.
Lang Hong. 411. And she has that. Show. 412. It's not done. Sandiyasa Yamaha. 48B.
And then the other thing.
The monks don't use it that though. Remember?
The monk, he doesn't use the other monk that he used.
The other monk uses.
Okay, so now let's move on. And I would like to hear the story from Hauma 4.9. Please remember to tell us the name of the story.
4.9 Elder Ananda's question. One evening during Ananda's meditation arose a question. Is there only a substance whose perfume goes only with the wind, or is there a substance whose perfume goes with the wind and against the wind? Ananda decided to ask the Buddha this question, and the Buddha replied by giving examples of people whose perfume goes with the wind, against the wind, and both.
So can you tell us some of the examples? So what's this thing against wind or with wind, or what is coming with the wind, or what is not going with the wind? How did Venerable Ananda come to that? The sound is not very clear.
Ananda was meditating, and then he knew that there were three types of perfumes.
Perfumes?
I forgot what they're called.
Yeah, no problem. 3 kinds of perfumes. And then?
And okay, I'm gonna go check the story really quick because I forgot half of it.
And so some perfumes other people can smell when the wind is going towards them, right? And the idea was whether the perfume can also stay when the wind is going the other way, or?
The perfumes are like namely the perfume of sandal, root, and flowers.
So why would this perfume be going against the wind and with the wind? What's this? Can you explain that?
Well, it's like a simile or like a metaphor, like an example about it. So the Buddha explained that some people, anyone who takes refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and follows the 5 precepts, are
So
like,
that's
and is
against the wind
virtuous,
or according to the wind?
according to the wind.
Oh, that's according. Okay.
It's kind of confusing, but like,
Yeah, I think this is similar to the flow of water. So, and we also say according to the hair, you know. So, like if you are stroking the hair of the body hair of a cat, if you stroke it in the right direction, it's comfortable for the cat. But if you stroke it the other way, it's not comfortable. So similarly, if you go according to the flow of the river, it's easier than if you go against the flow. And similarly, I understand it as going according to the flow of the wind and going against it. So for the Buddha, Dhamma is something that should be followed. And if it is followed, then that's easy. It is easier to live because then the beings get born in heaven, they're rich, successful, happy, peaceful, wise, they may become enlightened. But we're having a lot of fun here. But if the people are not going according to the wind and they're going against the wind, so they kill, steal, and so on, they don't learn Dhamma, they don't follow Dhamma, they don't meditate, well, then they will suffer. Just like you suffer if you go against the flow of the river, or just like the cat suffers if you stroke it in the wrong direction. So I think that's the meaning. Do you think that could apply, Amount, to the explanation?
yes.
Very well. So then let's continue with Sunday 5.1, pages 390 to 396.
The King and the Poor Man with the Beautiful Wife. During a march around the city, the king saw a woman look through a window, and he became entirely infatuated with her beauty. Discovering that she was married, he summoned the husband and deemed him the king's servant. The king tried to kill him by finding fault in his actions, but when that didn't work, he sent him on an impossible quest. That night, however, the king heard sounds that terrified him. When he consulted the house priest, who did not recognize the sounds, he claimed that the sounds meant that the king would die unless he sacrificed hundreds of animals and humans. The queen was skeptical of this outcome, so she directed him to the teacher for advice.
Okay, and that's all. You didn't get the advice in that portion yet?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And Yaza, will you tell us the advice?
I had Stories of the Past 5.1, A, B, and C. The first one was called, I believe, Telpot, and the second one was called The King of Benares and Queen Bina, and the third one was called The Woman Who Killed the Kiwis. The Buddha was telling a story of the past the king who heard 4 syllables from evildoers stuck in hell, as he was about to commit a great sacrifice, thinking these were bad omens for him. People praised his queen for saving the lives of many by urging the king to see the Buddha, and the Buddha explains in another story of the past that she had done this before. In the past, a king was persuaded that a tree spirit gave him his kingdom, and so he was prepared to sacrifice 100 kings and queens to the said tree spirit. However, in the past life of the queen, she proceeded to tell the king another story of the past, saying how she had killed 1 animal and was reborn in hell. The king, then realizing where he would be for killing 100 kings and queens, thanked the queen and spared all their lives. The Buddha then ended the story of the past, saying that no one would ever kill a living being if they knew the suffering that followed.
I see. And there was no. Did you read it until the end of the story, or is there any portion still remaining? I think you read it until the
I don't
end,
think
right?
there's any more portions remaining.
Good.
Just
So-
goes on to 5.2.
So was there any conclusion about what happened with the husband of that wife, the husband of the lady that the king fell in love with? No such mention.
What?
So Sandy said that the king fell in love with a woman who was married, right? Yes, you've got it. Do you know it? That was Sandy's portion. Sandy's portion was that a king fell in love with a woman who was married to someone else. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And is in the portion that you have read, Yaza, is there explained what happened with that man? So did the king finally do something bad to the man, or did he release the man, or apologize, or what happened? Is
I
there
don't think it says anything about what happened to him.
You think it's not mentioned there? Okay, so that's the way it is. All right, so the king probably, so it feels like the king probably gave up. Does that feel like, Yaza, do you know the previous portion of that story, or you just read the portion that was assigned?
I just read the portion that was assigned.
I see. So then it's very interesting, right? Because you
Oh,
need
I
to
found
listen.
I found one part that I think might talk about it a little.
Okay.
I also conceived a sinful passion for the wife of another, and got no sleep all night long. From this time forth, I shall no more set my heart on another man's wife. Gata.
Good. So that's the happy end. Nice. Thank you very much. Did everybody read their story, right? So you're pretty done. Am I right? Okay, that's good. So we were already reading Ogata, right? So let's read it again today. And let's just read it again today. And then we will make progress little by little. I need to prepare it in my so-called free time. I am in minus with my time, like in a very uncomfortable way, not only for me but others as well who are waiting for me to answer them email already 3 days, and I'm not planning to answer emails. At least not today, maybe not tomorrow. So it's very challenging for me these days. So I want to share with you let me see. So we will be looking at the Okata again. We probably read it last time. We will be reading it again, and then after some time we will move on. So we will progress. So I would like to ask everyone to unmute and keep your hands together at the chest. So we will be reading it in English, and then we will be reading it in Burmese. We always read it just one time. All right. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me.
Excuse me.
In order that all of the faults
In order that all
all
of
the faults,
sabbadosa
Sabbadosa,
done by body kaya kamma,
Done by body,
speech vachi kamma,
speech, Vachikama,
or mind mano kamma disappear
mind,
mano
disappear.
for the first time, for the second time, for the third time.
For
for
the
the first time, for the second time, for the third time.
Patama dutiya tatiya, completing 3 times.
Completing 3 times.
three times.
I respectfully and humbly pay respect and worship
I respectfully and humbly pay respect and worship
the jewel of Buddha,
the jewel of Buddha,
the jewel of Dhamma, the teachings,
the jewel of Dhamma, the teachings,
and the jewel of Sangha, the community of monks,
and the jewel of Sangha, the community of monks,
the three jewels, Venerable Sir.
The three jewels, Venerable Sir.
Okata, Okata, Okata,
Ogata, Ogata, Ogata,
Kayakan, Wasikan, Manokan,
Kayakan, Wasikan,
Tabbadota,
Tabbadota,
Katendo, Apiedogo, Pyaupa, Sichin, Ejunga, Patama Dutiya Tatiya,
Patama Dutiya,
Tejang, Najang, Tongjang, Miao Ao, Fiya Yatana, Tiya Yatana, Tangha Yatana, Yatana Miatong Padogo, Ayu Ati Ali Amya, Let O Mu Shiko Puzo, Kumyo Man Shop, Gadopa I Ishenfia. Great. Anyone has any question about this recitation? Is there any word or anything that you would like to ask me or tell me? Everything's clear. Amazing. Okay, it was a pleasure to see everybody and hope to see you next week. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be successful in everything you do.
Bye, Venerable Sir.
Thanks.